To come up with a great game for kids, sometimes you have to ask the kids to invent one. Hi, I'm Laurie from TTPM here with two kid-invented games from PlayMonster. Both Draw Into Crime and Goo On My Shoe won the Chicago Young Inventor Challenge and have been turned into real games that all kids can play. And if you're looking for more fun games, then click subscribe below. I'll start with Draw Into Crime, which I really feel should have been called Drawn Into Crime or Drawn to Crime for more of a play on words, but no big deal. This clever game is subtitled The Sketchy Game of Sketchy People. You get a book of suspects, and one player gets to flip through the book's 3 panels to secretly create the thief he saw stealing the jewels, or whatever story this player/witness wants to tell. There are 240 different suspect combinations. The other players take pencils and sketch pads and prepare to ask yes or no questions about what the suspect looks like.
Does the suspect have a mustache?
No.
So that they can sketch the suspect.
Does the suspect wear glasses? Yes.
These sketch artists can only ask a total of 10 questions, and the instructions make it seem like those have to be divided up among the artists. So 5 questions each for 2 sketch artists. Use your questions wisely. After the interview is over, the sketch artists secretly draw what they think the suspect looks like, based on the information they received. Then shuffle up the drawings and lay them on the lineup board for the witness to see. The witness picks which sketch is closest to the suspect in the book. That scores 1 point for the sketch artist. Take turns being the witness and sketch artist until everyone has had a chance to be the witness at least once. The first player to win 3 points wins. If you want to switch things up and be able to ask more questions about hair color, for instance, add your own crayons or colored pencils to the game and see just how accurate your sketches can be. This game is a little bit like Guess Who, but with drawing, and it's going to be really fun to see how and what everyone draws. It's also easy to learn and will be different every time you play. You can play this game with 3 or more players, ages 6 and up, and I think it'll be the most fun the more players you have. Now, if you have 2 to 4 players, ages 4 and up, you can play Goo On My Shoe. Kids who enjoy the tactile play of putty and slime will enjoy the goo in this game. It comes packaged up in shoebox-style packaging, which is clever, and each player chooses a pair of shoes and places them at the start space of the game board. Each player then gets to add a glob of goo to one of the pathway spaces on the board. The goo comes in 3 colors. What type of goo do you think each color is? To play, take turns spinning the spinner and moving according to what you spun. A number means you simply move that number of spaces along the board. Spinning Goo 1 means you add 1 goo glob anywhere on the path and then spin again. Spinning Goo 2 means you add 2 goo globs on the path and then spin again. When moving on the board, you really have to pay attention to where you land because there are a lot of spaces to keep track of. If you land on a space with goo, put the goo on your shoes. The playing piece, not your real shoes. If there's a puddle on the space, remove 1 goo from your shoes. If you land on a space that matches the color of your shoes, remove 1 goo. If you land on a space that matches another player's color, you have to add goo from the goo bank. The first player to make it to the finish space gets to remove 1 goo. Then all players count up the goo on their shoes, and the player with the least amount of goo wins. This game is also easy to learn, and there's some strategy involved as well as a fun element of surprise because you never know where you're going to land or on what. You do have to assemble the game board, and I wish the instructions had been a little more helpful with that. Before I tell you my pros and cons of each game, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these kid-invented games. If you were going to invent a game, what would it be? Tell me in the comments. The pros of Draw Into Crime are that it's easy to learn, uses deductive reasoning skills, and it's fun to see what people draw. The only con is that the police lineup match doesn't always lie flat. I give the game 4 stars. The pros of Goo On My Shoe are that it's easy to learn, includes gooey goo, and involves strategy and surprise. The only con is the assembly instructions. I still give it 4 stars. For where to buy and current prices, visit TTPM and subscribe to our YouTube channels for more reviews every day.